The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the very first special bonus episode of Shootin' Shit. As always, I am DDJ, and I am joined by my partners in crime, the premier Joey K, and down below us, we have the hot one, Jay Manacho. And a little bit of background onto this episode here. One of the discussion topics that we had on episode 10 of Shootin' Shit, which you can get on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast from, Apple, Spotify, Google, whatever. We started playing fantasy draft with the Ring of Honor roster, because of, the announcement that all the talents were going to be released from their contracts and Ring of Honor was going on hiatus. And the news that just recently came out today about the debts that they have, which is something like, and again, Joey K, being our resident Ring of Honor guy, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but something in the neighborhood of was $12 million or something like that.
Yes, very, 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 very high. It was like 12 and a half. I think 12.5 was the number I read. That was the third quarter results from Sinclair Broadcasting, who is the parent company owner of Ring of Honor at this point. So, well, until honestly, it looks like Sinclair was what I thought in the last episode, probably going to sell. And so I'm really fingers crossed that, Ring of Honor gets in some good hands and can start to rebuild as the independent show that they're really hoping to be.
Yeah. So in the meantime, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be continuing our draft, and we'll give you a recap of who we picked in the first 3 rounds on episode 10, and then we'll kind of get into it. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a special bonus episode of Shootin' Shit. I just gotta have a reason to play the beep every once in a while. So,
what is wrong with you, dude?
I start piling on the investment money.
yes, indeed, we are here with the very first special bonus episode of Shootin' Shit. And guys, how are we doing tonight?
Starting off on the right foot, talking about one of my favorite promotions of all time, Ring of Honor. And I just want to even drop any character and just say, this isn't a slight against anybody that we talk about tonight or don't talk about tonight. It isn't fantasy draft. We really understand this is real people, real lives. They have families to take care of and things like that. This is just our perspective on where we would love to see specific talent show up for their abilities, for their characters, and honestly get signed to companies and make some really great money to take care of said families and things like that. So just figured I'd throw that out there, because there's a lot of people out there kind of saying, oh, well, I hope so-and-so goes here. I hope so-and-so goes there. And we really do. We look at it like they're real people and, they have real lives and they have real bills and they have real families to take care of. So that's what we want. We want to see this talent again on our TV for entertainment, but also at the same time, want to see them make a living doing what they love as well, too.
Well said. Hot one, what you got anything you want to add?
Man, that was so beautifully said, and now it kind of has me worried because I may or may not have had 1 or 2 people that I suggested kick it to the retirement home. So those may not be mentioned now. Thank you, Joey K. But fellas, I am ready. I have a draft board that is deeper than most people's fantasy football boards, and it's probably as busted as everybody's fantasy football teams are now. So let's get
Or my Chicago Bears.
Oh, those poor Bears.
Or my Eagles.
Oh, those Eagles.
They
Everybody
did stomp
can't beat
the
them.
Lions, but I mean,
the Bears beat the Lions as well, too.
I mean, well, shit,
Everybody
guys.
beat
The
the
3 of
Lions.
us could probably beat the Lions at this point. So,
Yeah.
All right. So to give you a little bit of a recap here, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see this coming across your screen right now. But it's a little bit of a recap of the first 3 rounds, which we did on episode 10. With the first pick in the draft, we had Joey K picking Jonathan Gresham to go to AEW. We had Jay Minacho, the hot one, pick Josh Woods to go to NXT. With the third pick, I had the Briscoes going to AEW. Round 2, the premier Joey K had the entire Violence Unlimited group going to AEW, which Jovan was not a big fan of. We had Jovan picking the current Ring of Honor Women's Champion, Roxy, to go to AEW. And I had arguably the man who I think a lot of us called, a couple of us referred to as Mr. Ring of Honor, Jay Lethal, going back to Impact. And then in the third round, we had Joey K had the very nice, very evil Danhausen going to AEW. Jay had Roosh going to the WWE, and I had current Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Bandito go to MLW. Gentlemen, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Round 4, Joey K, who you leading off with?
Well, kicking off my picks, I'm looking at a couple, and I've been flip-flopping a little bit of who I want to take here. So pulling up my handy-dandy pocket list, and I'm actually going to kind of throw something a little sideways at you guys.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to take Dragon Lee back to New Japan.
Nice pick. Good pick. I actually had that one written down that I was going to possibly say for a little bit later.
Yeah, definitely a sleeper pick.
Base my pick on as he's a current champion Ring of Honor. So not to say it, you don't want to say it, but it kind of is true. You give a little bit of privilege to some of the champs right now, where they want to go up, especially now. That all could change by Final Battle. You know, who's going to be the last Ring of Honor champ of this current iteration of Ring of Honor. But I think Dragon Lee, what most people don't know, some of his best work was in New Japan in the juniors, and I mean, phenomenal run there. So I think going back, you know, for him would be big. It'll give a big boost to the junior heavyweight title in New Japan right now, and also could potentially work some strong events as well too, as we're starting to get a little bit more crossover of New Japan strong on the U.S. side of things.
I really like that pick too, because you talked about the stuff he did in New Japan. He had some classics and some bangers with Hiromu Takahashi as well too, and unfortunately, he was the reason why Takahashi was out with a broken neck, you know, but I mean, still, it didn't stop him from having some bangers over in New Japan.
And I thought that would come up. The thing I have about that is I've watched that match back a few times now. I'm not a fan of that move, that reverse Frankensteiner, essentially. You know, it's super, super risky. And you got to see the very risky side, where Takahashi ends up with a broken neck, still finishes the match. Wow, number one. Number two, it did set him back, you know, the better part of a year.
Yep.
And thankfully he came back. Thankfully he healed up, was able to get back in the ring and still perform at a high level like he was. But that's just the dangers of professional wrestling. That's what, you know, we look at too, is, you know, this is our entertainment, but it's still a very, very, very dangerous thing.
Yeah.
All right, Hot One, you're on the clock. What do you got?
Ladies and gentlemen, with pick number 1 and night number 2 for my team, I'm bringing Impact X Division its next star. Give me the King, Kenny King.
I love that.
Super great pick.
Dude, if there's anybody who screams X Division that's not in Impact, it's Kenny King. His bravado, his moveset. I can see him going into an Ultimate X and making his name in that company. The dude is money.
He was actually in Impact for a while, because wasn't he part of, what was it, the Beatdown Clan with Samoa Joe and MVP, and was it Lashley as well, or?
I think it was Lashley in the Beatdown group.
Yeah, it was those four. Yeah, and that was a really badass group.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think right now with his skill set, he's more matured. He's begging to be a big star. The X Division is where he can make it big.
I like that. All right, so up to me now here, And I've got a lot of picks here ready to go. And you both started off with a couple of bombs. So you know what? I'm going to take one as well too. And I'm actually going to go the Joey K route and pick a faction. I am going to I'm with this pick, third pick in the fourth round of this draft. I'm actually going to draft the Righteous, which is Vincent, Dutch, Bateman, and Vita Von Starr to the WWE. I just feel like Vincent has won me over with his mic work and this whole feud he had with Matt Taven. I mean, he's really kind of come along and I think played that puppermint. Basically, he's become Ring of Honor's Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt, like Fiend and stuff. And I just love that. I love the music. I love the way the guys come to the ring. They're like in a trance. And it's just like he literally, Vincent literally has to kind of harken back to the whole Bray Wyatt thing is he's got the whole world in his hands. And I just think something like that, it's been shown that it can work. And I mean, I just feel like that to me, something like this can only work in a place like WWE. So give me the entire Righteous group here real quick.
I love that pick, man. I've toyed with the idea of keeping the Righteous together for like hours last night. And I went back and forth. Do I want Vincent? Do I want the Righteous? Do I want Vincent? Do I want the Righteous? Well, what are you going to do with Dutch if you don't take Vincent and the whole Righteous? Man, that's a hell of a pick. I like it a lot.
All right. Thank you so much. So a little bit of recap here. We've got Joey K in round 4 had Dragon Lee going to New Japan in a great pick with a great pick. Jay had Kenny King going back to Impact, and I had the Righteous going to the WWE. So great way to start off this draft. So again, thanks again for everyone listening to this. We'll try to recap all of this, and maybe at the end we'll kind of do a quick round by round recap and stuff. But guys, let's get right into it. Let's go into round 5. Joey K, who do you got?
Well, keeping on said trend, I found it hard because my selection here was individual, but I find it hard to break them up, and I have to. I'm sorry, but I'm going to take your current 6-man champs.
Damn it!
Shane Taylor Promotions, STP. I'm taking Shane Taylor. And this is where, where do I put Conan Moses? And even somebody who isn't technically officially Ring of Honor, signed, but O'Shea Edwards as well, too, in there. Where do you take them all together? It's hard to split them up because I just love the work that they're doing right now. Now, where do they go is a harder question. I thought about this because you got a couple options, but I'm going to take option B, which is Impact. I think Impact having STP would be absolute money. Great television spot, get more exposure for Shane Taylor because he is fantastic. I'm going to be clear. You got some really great feuds that can happen there. Now, I actually almost went WWE main roster. And big factor on that, I would love to see Shane Taylor versus, I'm sorry, I'm not calling him Bearcat, but it's not, no. Keith Lee, I think you have just an amazing setup feud there. But I think there's more to do in Impact, especially with a trio like STP. So, STP going to Impact. That's my pick for this round.
All right, Hot One. What do you got with your next pick?
He clearly just stole my second pick, and I was also going to WWE. So to hear you break it down like that is pretty cool to take them to Impact. I like that decision a lot. Shane Taylor.
I honestly I actually had them on my my draft board as well too, but I had them actually going to AEW, and I just thought that'd make a lot of sense, especially if these long rumored trios titles get introduced.
That's a great point, and I didn't even put that one in. That's a really great point. I love that actually.
All right, Hot One, what do you got?
So my second pick, which would have been my third pick, give me the Bouncers, Beer City Bruiser, Brawler Bonus to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yes, perfect home. That's actually on my list, one of my picks, and exactly where I would put them as well too. Particularly working strong, but go ahead. Yeah,
it looks like they can be that big domineering team that New Japan loves. The Japanese style, they love those hard workers, those big, just bulky dudes.
Just meaty men slapping meat.
Exactly.
Dude, that was straight up one of my picks. I'm looking at my list here going.
Yeah, that was one I had on my list as well too. I actually kind of had them going because they had a little bit of a run there already, but I actually had them go. I would have them go to the NWA because they had a little bit of a run there, and I mean, they need some established tag teams over there. So
true,
that's true.
That's a good point.
All right, so with my next pick here in the 5th round, again, I try to think about places where some of these men and women have gone. And, where they've been and where they've had, some success prior to coming to Ring of Honor. And to me, this my next pick here is a duo that had some great success in the promotion that I have them going to, and actually were partially responsible for one of the most entertaining weddings I've ever seen on wrestling TV. And with that pick, Impact Wrestling has a lot of great talents, but they need a miracle. So with the 3rd pick in the 5th round of this draft, I have returning to Impact Wrestling, the Miracle, Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis Bennett.
Nice.
I just thought I absolutely loved that duo. I loved Mike Kanellis's run in Mike Kanellis. Oh God, that was a flop.
Yeah, that was horrible booking from WWE.
Mike Bennett and
creative.
On there, and it was just just so much fun at that wedding with Braxton Sutter and Allie, where like Mike Kanellis was like just bombed, and Mike Bennett. Why am I? God, And
you watched too much WWE tonight. That's your problem.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I didn't watch any WWE. Well, I watched old school WWE when it was actually good and stuff. But I just thought, they were a great duo. I mean, Maria is such a good heel manager, but she's got that innocent look, but she's got a real nasty side to her.
I think the term you're looking for is power couple.
There you go. I
and
like
that's
that.
Something that wrestling doesn't have much of anymore. We used to have a lot of that in the past, but that's where Maria and Mike shine. You have a great power couple in those two, and that's a great pick.
All right, so we have to recap round 5. We have Joey K drafting Shane Taylor Promotions to Impact Wrestling. We had Jay Minacho drafting the Bouncers to New Japan, and I took Mike and Maria Bennett to back to Impact Wrestling. So, gentlemen, we've got 2 rounds down. We've got 5 more to go. Round 6. Go ahead, Joey K. What you got?
Quick question. DDJ, who are your top 3 picks again?
My top 3 picks, I had my first pick were the Briscoes going to AEW.
Right.
I had Jay Lethal in the 2nd round going to Impact, and then I had Bandito going to MLW.
That's what I thought. I wanted to make sure I didn't screw up my tracking here and my listing. So with my first pick of the 6th round, and by no means is this indicative of who I rank above anyone. I'm just going in. This is it's a random order for me. Any of these wrestlers could flip-flop anywhere. However, my 6th pick have to go with the trend, Matt Taven, going to AEW. Sorry, hot one.
He's not sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
So, I here's the thing. There was a period of time I was not a big Matt Taven fan. There was a period of time I was. There's a period of time I wasn't. And now here's a period of time where I am once again. I love the Kingdom. I love the OGK right now with Mike Bennett, and that's the final run they're really going to have in Ring of Honor together. He's, man, how do I say this? He's just one of those guys where you watch and you're just like, man, I can really enjoy it. And to me, he deserves some shine on AEW. I want to see him on national television. I want to see what he can do. When the lights shine brightest in Ring of Honor on Matt Taven is when he performs. I think we've all said this, where the MSG Supercard of Honor, he wins the ladder match for the title in Madison Square Garden. Marty was hot as absolutely the surface of the sun. Probably should have won the title for a booking decision, but damn it, watch the match again. Watch Matt Taven perform. See what he does and tell me he doesn't deserve to win that ladder match and win the title. The guy's money. I want to see him show up on AEW. I want to see him go against Adam Cole. I want to see him go against Christian. I want to see him go against Kenny Omega. I want to see where he hangs on that, because I think you have some real quality matches. Hangman Page versus Matt Taven is a match that I think we need to see.
And it's just that I like that pick because I like the fact that you're speaking, because a lot of people out there's a lot of, I think, unnecessary hate that gets thrown Matt Taven's way.
100%.
Yes.
And that's so, and I just think it's not right and stuff. So I like that pick. Jay, what do you got?
I really like that pick because it was going to be my next pick. Yeah. Let's see. Joey did it to me twice in a row.
Jesus.
Just, might as well just not even try anymore. No.
Well, I'll just give your picks. Me and Giovanna are just giving our picks together at this point.
Yeah, we're a team.
We're teaming.
I don't know. See, I can stand on my own. So,
all right. Let's cut the bull. Ladies and gentlemen, my next pick is going to help this company in a million different ways. There's this little company that's got a new TV deal. They've got a new sub show within this new TV deal that they're trying to kick off. And quite frankly, I think they need this veteran presence to pull out the best of some of these people that we may have not have seen on TV yet. Give me the Darewolf PJ Black to MLW.
Great pick.
On my list. He's actually one of my picks for tonight too. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I think, he hasn't lost a step, dude. He's been in the game for a good while, but Jesus, he still can go. And having that kind of veteran that could go like that in MLW, it'll build that roster up so quick.
So he was in the Battle Royal at on the pre-show for Death Before Dishonor. He was one of the final four. So here's my takeaway. Watching him right now as a performer in the ring, dude, he is just so smooth. Like, it's just muscle memory. He goes and he makes it look so effortless and so good.
We need to start smoking, man. Him and Seidel.
Dude, yeah. I mean, he's out there. He's a shaman now. So, like, he went full out in the desert, just like, talking to his ancestors and shit. But you know what? I love it. Yep. He's great. He's absolutely fantastic. That's one of the best picks of the night right there.
Beautiful.
Okay, so great picks, and I'm going to continue that trend because my next pick here is someone who went back to a little bit of his previous gimmick. He was kind of went back to a little, took it back a little bit these last few, weeks in Ring of Honor. At one point, he was constantly trying to be booked on All In, kept being rejected, and He had to sneak into the over the budget battle royal to under a mask to win, to get on the card, where he ended up having a hell of a match against Jay Lethal. He would go on to become a mercenary, and now he's back to being the good old boy. So I think you guys know who I'm going with this pick, but where do we send him?
There's only one place. There's only one place, DDJ.
Really? That was my whole issue.
I think there's more than one place, and I'm not sending him in the place I think that you're thinking.
Yeah, because I had an issue trying to place him too. That's the only reason I didn't put him on my, must draft.
And when I first thought of this pick, and I'm just going to come right out and say it, it's Flip Gordon. I thought the obvious choice would be AEW, because he'd be back with the Bucks, he'd be back with Cody, but I kind of almost feel like he'd get lost in the shuffle there. So instead of going to AEW, I'm actually taking with this pick, my pick in the 6th round. I'm actually going to send Flip Gordon to New Japan Pro Wrestling to be part of the junior heavybeweight division.
Okay,
I like that.
I think he could be one of those guys that could go over there and make a name for himself in the junior heavyweight division, and then after a while, find his way into like maybe because I wasn't going to say the Intercontinental, but that's belts merged with the World Heavyweight Championship, but maybe he finds his way into the U.S. title picture, and subsequently finds his way into the the World Heavyweight Championship picture. But I just think right now, I think Flip Gordon, yeah, it'd be pretty obvious to send him to AEW, but I just almost feel like he'd get lost in the shuffle. And I think if he really wants to shine out of his own, I would have him go to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So that is my pick. I'm sending Flip Gordon to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I love that because, bro, could you see Flip Gordon in Bullet Club?
Oh, the mercenary shows up in Bullet Club. Perfect. And I love that. I love that pick, and I love going to New Japan. My pick, why I put him in AEW, isn't just because of the Bucks. You have the Bucks, of course. You have Cody, of course, and you have a lot of storyline there. But I've said it so many damn times. AEW needs to build the mid card. You just said it yourself, DJ. Oh, I won't pick him to go there because he'll get lost in the shuffle. Well, that's the problem. You have like dark elevation-ish, whatever, and you have the top tier. This is where you need to fill that middle ground. Who better than a guy like Flip that people know? He's a name that you recognize. He has built-in stories with the top tier, but let's see Flip versus Sammy for the TNT Championship. Can you imagine how great that match will be? Can you see him working with guys like Lee Moriarty, like
Bobby Fish?
I mean, it's a perfect storm to get him in there. He helps AEW build their mid card. B, they have a mid carder that is elevated to play with the top echelon. But see, that's why I pick him to go to AEW.
And that's kind of what I was thinking myself too. But see, the beauty of it is the whole thing with this Forbidden Portal. We could still see Flip Gordon show up in AEW, but part of maybe a Bullet Club invasion or something like that. Maybe they unveil him as the Bullet Club member on an AEW show, when they screw over the Bucks or something,
Your lips to God's ears.
Yeah.
Bullet Club invasion of AEW. Let's do it.
Definitely. Speaking of doing it, let's get into round number 7 here. Joey K, lead us off. Oh, real quick before you do that, recap for round 6. We had Joey K taking Matt Taven and sending him to AEW. Jay had PJ Black going to MLW, and I've got Flip Gordon going to New Japan. Sorry about that, Joey K. Go ahead and make your 7th round pick.
Man, so I have a handful of guys, and this is, like I said, this is tough because I really didn't map them out to rate them one over another. However, I'm actually going to, again, jump around because one of the newer signees of Ring of Honor, who's I'm going to pick right now, and damn, she would find a great home where I'm going to send her. And let's go with Max the Impaler to NXT.
Ooh.
I think 2 reasons why. Number one, she's a monster female. And I think that would be such a great thing. You know, think about the early days of Nia Jax, how they built her to be this unstoppable monster. You have Max, and now I did teeter on the fence. I think, you know, would she play in Impact? Because I think Impact has probably right now the best women's division in professional wrestling. I mean, truthfully, Impact knows how to put on great women's division. She would work there, but just like DDJ said, I wouldn't want to see her get lost in the mix. NXT, especially NXT 2.0, she can come out and they can build her to be the biggest monster megastar. She will get that main roster call up and she could just dominate. She has a great look, great character. You know, I think that's a great thing for NXT 2.0, especially with this whole rebranding over the past months.
I love that pick because when all of this stuff started breaking, you know, I saw her Twitter post and she's like, I know I'm supposed to be this big badass, but you know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm crying tears over here. And that realness, I was just like, oh, I like her even more now.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, what do you got for your 7th round?
My next pick, I also teetered back and forth between two companies on where I think this pick would be great. To me, she has a hell of an upside. And yes, I'm going female too. I got scared when Joey said she. But I think where I'm going to end up having her go is where she'll get the most usage. There's been some recent updates that this company has recently let go of a wrestler who I think she could come in and kind of fill in for. Give me Session Martina to Impact Wrestling.
Yes, that's a great pick.
Good pick.
Yeah, dude. I think she's got knockouts written all over her.
100%.
Great work ethic. I can't believe that she hadn't been in a bigger promotion as of yet. Her work is amazing. But recently Impact parted ways with Taylor Wilde. I think Session Martina right there. She'll feel in great.
That's awesome pick. Great pick for that division too.
All right, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and my next pick, I'm gonna also keep it in the women's division here. We'll just make this all women's round. And I'm going with not just one in this pick. I'm going with a duo. And one half of this duo has already spent some time in this promotion I'm going to be sending this duo to. In fact, she's regarded as one of the greatest champions of its women's division. I believe she's like a 6 or a 7-time champion. And I don't, to the best of my knowledge, that her partner has not spent any time in this promotion. But these two are great together. They play their roles well. I think extremely underrated, especially the one half. Ladies and gentlemen, for the last pick in the 7th round, going to Impact Wrestling to possibly start a dream feud with the Inspiration, I'm picking the Allure.
That's a great pick.
Just because I think we're all in agreement that when it comes to women's wrestling, Impact's women knockouts division is by far and away the best women's division out there. Although NXT's got a decent women's division, AEW's women's division has grown by leaps and bounds. I even think the NWA's starting to have a nice little women's division there and stuff. But I just feel like, especially what sealed this pick for me was the fact that Impact is the only company with a women's division that actually has a legit, like, deep enough roster to run a legit tag team, and which is why they have the Knockouts tag titles and they work. And much like we all are pretty much in agreement that the Inspiration were tailor-made for this division, I think the Allure is just as tailor-made. And again, Angelina Love, I believe she's a former 6-time knockout women's champion, doesn't get anywhere near the loves that she deserves with for her, in terms of, all-time greats in the women's division. The Inspiration versus the Allure for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships, sign me up.
That's a great pick. It's a perfect landing spot for them, especially to bolster that women's tag team division and really kind of give them a shot of I think it's a perfect home. It's really great.
And then also too, with as long as Angelina Love has been in the has been wrestling, she can really teach some of the younger women's wrestlers and stuff. She can help them out, because again, I think really you put them there, I believe, other than maybe Mickie James, who's technically part of the NWA but the Knockouts champion, she's probably got more experience than anybody currently that's on the Impact Knockouts roster. So I just think there, not only from a wrestling standpoint, but just also from an experience standpoint, I just think that would be for lack of a better term, a match made in heaven. So recapping round 7, we all went with women this time. We had Joey K sending Max the Impaler to NXT. Jay sending Session Moss Martina to Impact, and myself sending the Allure to Impact. All right, man, we are going. We are having fun. We are flying through these rounds, having fun. We got 3 more rounds to go. Let's start with round number 8. Joey K, lead us off.
Oh, now I'm going to make you guys big mad. All right, so we've done tag teams. We've done factions. This one in particular is tough because we've already kind of split 2 members off. But I'm taking 2, and I want to see them tag together because I think it would be money. It's good. I am taking the remaining members of the foundation. I'm taking Rhett Titus, and I'm taking Tracy Williams. Individually, amazing. I think just as a tag team, though, they can go. I'm teetering of where I will send them, though. My home for them right now, and I think they would be really great anywhere, but my home for them, surprisingly enough, as much as I talk trash, is NXT 2.0. I think they would be fantastic in that NXT 2.0 tag team division. There it is right there.
Those of you watching the screen, not watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to this, Hot One just put his phone up against the screen because I think Joey K stole another one of his picks.
Once again, I am foiling the Hot One here. But,
notice how he's smiling and laughing about it. I don't see 1 ounce of sadness at all.
And that's sad.
That is why Joey K is our resident heel here on Shootin' Shit.
Exactly.
He's loving it. Who else would have freaking thought to put the rest of the foundation together?
Well, yeah, maybe the guy who absolutely loves Ring of Honor. That's who right here.
Dang, Javon, you better call a waiter because you just got served.
Oh, sick bird. No, all right. So let me touch on this just real quick. Number 1, Rhett Titus. We talked a lot on the Ring of Honor episode 10. If you guys haven't listened to it, check it out. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. We spoke a lot about like some of these, like we questioned who the pillars of Ring of Honor would be. Who's Mr. Ring of Honor, things like that. Rhett Titus has been Ring of Honor since 2005. So he's about as OG Ring of Honor as you can get outside the Briscoes. I don't know anybody else who's on Ring of Honor's roster right now that has been straight Ring of Honor since. I don't think there's anyone. So that's a guy who deserves a shine right there. Tracy Williams, can't kill him. Man got hit by a car, came back to the ring, still working like a champ. But in all seriousness, when he found a home in the Pure division during the Pure tournament to crown a new champion, he stepped out and stepped into a role that I think suits him so well. When they brought Rhett Titus into the foundation and he became, a member and part of the Pure division as well too, man, those guys there's something about them that just clicks together, that just works. They would be someone. We just saw new NXT Tag Team Champions crown Imperium. Correct? Am I correct in that?
Yes, it was a little over a week ago.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I would run. I can't think of a better tag team match right now for NXT 2.0 than seeing the Foundation versus Imperium for the tag team titles.
Ooh,
You would have, and that's WWE loves this clown nonsense of best of 7 series, blah blah. That's a best of 7 series I would watch wholeheartedly. You put those two teams in various scenarios against each other in a best of 7, I'll watch every week. That's how you get me back to NXT. Rhett Titus, Tracy Williams, great pick right there for myself. If I don't say so myself, no, I really just love. I want to see those guys come up. I want to see them get their shine. Thank you for the golf clap. It's appreciated. It's just funny because every time I open my mouth, I just see Jovan's face just sink, and he's like, "You mother!" Like every time. Can't get away from it.
Hey, keep it up, and you're not going to be getting a Christmas card in the mail from him.
Exactly. Where's my ice cream bar?
It was $20. I decided not to grab it.
He ain't wrong. They were charging $16 for them at All Out.
Oh, don't worry. We remember loud and clear you yelling about that one for a while. Talk about me talking too much on an episode. You, half an episode, complained about, can you believe the inflation? Can you believe they charged me $16? I couldn't do it.
They didn't charge me because I didn't pay $16 for that.
It was just because
I love the ice cream bar, but I'm not paying $16 for an ice cream bar.
Oh my god!
See, you got me started again.
Here we go.
All right.
Back in my day, ice cream was $1.99.
Man,
is ice cream the best in the world? I don't know.
I remember the days when my grandfather used to own a bunch of ice cream trucks. So I used to go on them with my mom, and I was like the coolest kid on the block when I'd be on the ice cream truck.
Were you getting the WWF ice cream bars?
I don't think we had those. If we did, I definitely. I used to get like the. I think it was like the fudge pops or whatever, but it was like the fudge, the banana and the fudge.
Oh yeah.
Those are good. Those are like the chocolate eclair bars. I forgot what they used to call them back then and stuff, with like the little crunch, and then the.
That would be chocolate eclair bar.
Okay, that's good. All right. Anyways, enough about $16 ice cream bars and my reminiscing of being on my grandpa's ice cream truck back when I was a kid. Let's get back on track here. Hot One, what do you got for your 8th round pick?
My next pick, I have a multiple destination pick. Just because I feel like he has some unfinished business. This man needs to still control his narrative in one spot before he can go to somewhere else.
Ooh.
Yes.
Give me EC3 first to Impact to finish some business, then to the NWA.
Oh.
Twist of events. I know he's always been teased for AEW. People have wanted him in AEW ever since he was released. I think his star power in NWA right now will be unrivaled. Same thing could be said for MLW, but I like the matchups better for NWA. See him and Chris Adonis. See him and who's the new champion now?
Trevor Murdoch.
See him and Nick Aldis. Give me EC3 to that old school NWA after another run in Impact.
Nice pick. I actually kind of had him on mine, but I was going to maybe save him to the end and stuff. But I kind of had him going to the AEW because I could think he could bring this control your narrative thing over there. And I think he could get over, I think, as the monster heels, like trying to change everybody's narrative. Which, by the way, guys, just if you haven't had a chance to see either one of the Free the Narrative events on YouTube, do yourself a favor and go watch them. I watched the second one with Adam Shear, the former Braun Strowman, and it was really good. And the subliminal messages and the messages and everything going on were just, it really just made a lot of sense, and it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So guys, if you're listening to this, go out of your way and go check those out. They are on YouTube and they are free. So it's one, I know the second one's about an hour and a half. I'm gonna assume the first one is too. Well worth it and stuff. So I'm gonna close out the 8th round with a pick that I feel just for the entrance alone is tailor made for this organization. I just this guy, when I first saw him, I just didn't get it. But once I started watching him and seeing what he could do in the ring, like the gimmick, it's a gimmick that really it works, but at the same time, this guy can go. And just imagining this entrance on such a grand stage, I just think this would be the kind of thing that like Vince McMahon has wet dreams of at night. So to close out the 8th round, I am going to send Dalton Castle to the WWE. Can you imagine his entrance at WrestleMania?
They'll have live peacocks, especially because they're sponsored by Peacock. There will be live freaking peacocks.
Oh, for sure.
You know what? I didn't even think about that, but that just further reinforces. I'm just thinking, just the entrance he got at. I think it was their first pay-per-view back, or that they started once they started running the empty arena shows. It might have been, I think, the 19th anniversary show. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joey K, but he had like obviously it wasn't like a full-blown WrestleMania style entrance, but I mean, it was a pretty good entrance for an empty arena show.
100%. The guy puts on a show from the time he steps out through the curtain until the time he's backstage again. And his entrances are huge. They're ridiculous. There's humor in it's everything. And you're right. Getting the huge entrance at a WrestleMania or something, that's money.
Nice. So we are going to recap round 8 here. We had in round 8, we had Joey K taking the remaining members of the foundation, Rhett Titus and Tracy Williams, sending them to NXT. Jay Minacho sending EC3 to Impact Wrestling to take care of some unfinished business, and then on to the NWA. And I closed out round 8 with having Dalton Castle going to the WWE. Actually, I'll make a little adjustment here. But I mean, guys, this is a lot of fun, and I hope you guys, if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, please let us know, who would you have going where? Where would you have sent, the Allure or Matt Taven? And what round in your draft would you pick someone like that? Let us know, by reaching out to us. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see our socials on the screen. If not, our socials will be on the episode description, along with links to our Wrestling with Johners page. Again, the show is part of the Johners Podcasting Network. We got we'll have links to our t-shirt store there. We've got some great designs that our own Hot One did. So so guys, it's getting on there in time. We're coming in on 50 minutes for this episode. I don't care. It seems like this time has been flying by. We got 2 more rounds to go. We're in round 9. Joey K, start us off.
My 9th pick, I'm going back to the women's division. Now, the Hot One has given us an early round pick for someone who I think is very much the future of any women's division, women's professional wrestling in general, and Roxy. However, I don't think we get the best out of Roxy without mentioning someone who also blew it out of the water at Death Before Dishonor for the Ring of Honor women's title, and that is Miranda. I gotta take her. She is another huge huge asset to any company she goes to. However, I will take her and I will put her in AEW. I think she would bolster that AEW women's division. I think there's a lot of great matches that she can have. And, you know, and I don't want to say this to take anything away from Roxy. She's a young kid. She's a young kid at being that age, because I am significant. I'd probably be your dad at this point. But
who's your daddy?
Yeah.
Who's your daddy?
That's wildly inappropriate, gentlemen. No, no,
when are we appropriate?
Pretty much
Never.
See? You know, that girl can tear the house down. So the build to that before Miranda and Roxy were tag teaming, they had quite a few tag team matches, and they just worked so well together. And when they put this match together for the finals of the women's tournament to crown a new champion, you know, it takes two. It takes two, and you can't get one without the other, in my opinion. I think she would be such an asset to AEW and that women's division, a great shot of life. And she would match up really, really well with the size of some of the women in AEW, with the style of some of the women in AEW. And she could be, honestly, a breakout star for them. She really could. You know, Britt Baker came in with a lot of fanfare. And but the reality is we got to watch the evolution of Britt Baker.
Yeah, it took her a while to get to where I think everybody thought she was going to be.
Exactly.
She had to break her leg to get there.
I mean, it was, well, she had to essentially get over. You know, she was very over with a segment of fans, but she turned it on and won over all the AEW fans, in my opinion. And I think Miranda is somebody who can do that too. She's someone who can come in, have some really great matches, catch people's attention, and she's great on the mic. She does a lot of things right. That's a huge compliment, I think, to her, is because, you know, you got a great ring work, you got great work ethic, you got a great look. She's got great talent on the mic. She has it all. Get in there, mix it up with some of these AEW women, and I think you're looking at, in 2 years, she could be AEW Women's Champ, or come in to the TBS tournament and just, you know, run house. She would be perfect for that. A showcase for her as a coming out party. That's, you know, she's just one of those, to me, an up and comer. She's got everything going for her.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but has she been on like AEW Dark? Has she ever?
I don't remember.
For some reason, I feel like it's Miranda. It's Alize, right? Is how you say her last name.
Yeah.
But like I for some reason feel like she's been on Dark before. I mean, I don't know for sure though, but I really like that.
She actually wrestled Britt Baker in 2020 on Dark.
Okay.
So ironically enough, there's my comparison, and that's kind of who I thought it was. I just had to go back and look it up. She had a brief appearance in Impact, but and she even was in WWE. She was part of the Mae Young Classic in 2017. She lost to Rhea Ripley in the first round, but never enough to really kind of like shine and get like that a good look from the fans. But hey, she's from Reality of Wrestling, Booker T's promotion down in Houston. Shout out Texas, my Texas boy down there. You know, and she, I don't know. To me, she's just one of those, like, man, I can't wait to see her in 3 years and see where she develops to. She's got that potential, that Britt Baker potential, where she can go from AEW Dark to carrying the title and being, you know, one of the faces of the company.
I like that. Hot one, what do you got?
You boys have had fun taking all the damn factions in Ring of Honor.
See that? That's my tiny violin right now.
I've waited and waited and waited. So I feel like I need a faction now. I need
You want some cheese with that wine?
I do actually. I do.
Yeah.
Because I'm taking the Shinobi Shadow Squad, Cheeseburger, Eli Isom, and Ryan Nova to AEW.
It's a good pick, actually. That's really solid.
Dude, you look at it already. They have some built-in feuds with SCU, which SCU's not really around anymore. Kind of, sort of. Depends on how Kaz and Daniels are feeling. But a very young team, kind of guys that you could put into a trios title tournament and could open a lot of eyes. So, yeah, I want a faction. I'm taking the Shinobi Shadow Squad.
See, I would see them as doing what Private Party did in the first AEW tag team tournament.
Yes.
Where Private Party came out against the Bucks and just shocked everyone. And like they just let it all fly, had a great match, end up getting the upset win. That's exactly where I see that as a trios. They come in and build off something like that.
Oh, yeah, I would love that. Cheeseburger.
Double cheeseburger.
World famous, baby.
World famous.
World famous CB. All right, so my next pick here, I think is a natural fit because this man here represents the last of a dying breed. He's very old school in his character. He's very old school in just the way he is. He's just old school, traditional in every single way. And again, our picks are no slight on these wrestlers because this guy, and I know Jay knows this. I think Joey K and I have talked about this. This guy has been one of my favorites since I've gotten into Ring of Honor just because I love the way he represents the old school style of wrestling. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, with the last pick in the 9th round, I'm repping his shirt. Give me Silas Young to the NWA.
Oh,
I love that.
Great home.
I just feel like he would be tailor-made for that company and what the vision Billy Corgan has for the NWA. It's basically old school wrestling with a new school flair. I mean, if you've ever watched NWA Power or caught a show, the presentation's very old school 80s style with the ring apron, the visuals, everything, but it's got that little bit of a new school flair because, you got all the new talents and everything. And I just think, man, wrestling's last real man against Trevor Murdoch for the NWA title. You want to talk about a fight that, these guys are going to have bruises and welts and busted lips and busted noses. I mean, this is like what you call a knockdown, drag out fight. This would be like the modern day Vader versus Stan Hansen, where these two could literally just go beat the shit out of each other. And I think the people would eat it up and just, yeah. So for me, last pick, I think this is one of my, this pick makes so much sense. Anywhere else would be foolish. Silas Young to the NWA.
That's a great pick. And you're 100% right on your assessment of why the NWA. You watch NWA Power, and it's like I'm like 8 years old watching TBS at 6:05 on a Saturday night. That's the vibe I get, from the production, from the look of it, the feel of it, and that is such a good pick. I love Silas. I think he's phenomenal at what he does. He has that. He's a throwback. He's a throwback to another generation of wrestling.
Right. So recapping round 9, we have Joey K going with Miranda Alize to AEW. We had Jay Minacho taking the Shinobi Shadow Squad going to AEW, and I went with Silas Young to the NWA. All right, gentlemen, we're in the final round here. Let's go out with a bang. Joey K, round 10. Who you got?
For my final pick of the draft tonight, I thought there's some names on the board, and to be honest with you, before I even say it, every single person on that roster deserves to be signed somewhere. Yep. They're all phenomenal. They're all great. They've done nothing but make each other better, week in, week out. Ring of Honor, I've said it, I will say it till I'm in the grave. Ring of Honor put on the best pandemic era wrestling, hands down, period. They had the best quality matches. They had great production. They absolutely took care of their talent during the pandemic. And that's been very made public by everyone who either watched the product, who's part of Ring of Honor, and things like that. So,
Now, hey, Joey K, real quick, correct me if I'm wrong. I know they paid everybody, but I believe they were also the only company that didn't let anybody go, correct?
That is correct. They didn't release any talent, with the exception of one, but that wasn't pandemic related. That was Marty and the parting ways of Marty Scurll and Ring of Honor. However, no talent was released, to my knowledge, during that time. And if anybody left, it was the asked to leave. The only thing that was difficult, and I'll say this, is their international talent. So somebody like, Joe Hendry, somebody like Session Moth Martina, the travel to the States was impossible for a long period of time for some of these talents. That's probably the only aspect I could see that where it was a little tough for talent that was signed to Ring of Honor. But, any one of them could be signed, any single person, and every single person should be signed somewhere. I've championed this for a while. Tony Deppen, Ring of Honor, signed Tony Deppen. He's going to get signed somewhere. I'd love to see him in a major player promotion. But that said, we do have to make a pick here. So I'm going to go with a local boy. Somebody right here who represents Philadelphia professional wrestling to the T. I love his gimmick. I love that he came out the past few matches I've been to Ring of Honor live in various Philly garb. His ring gear is all Philly out every time. And I think he's such a great, great talent and deserves to be on TV week in and week out. So my 10th pick is none other than the Mecca, Brian Johnson. And I'm going to flip it up here as far as companies go. I want to see Brian Johnson sign with GCW. I think Brian Johnson, his character, his gimmick, his style would fit perfect for the current GCW model. And you can see him work with a lot of the guys that you see in Ring of Honor week in and week out. You can see him work with a lot of talent that he might not have worked with just, at all. But man, put him on a mic in front of a GCW crowd. Woo, that's money. So to me, and I said this last week, our last episode, I know Ring of Honor is a Baltimore-based company, but to me, Ring of Honor is the true successor to that ECW Philadelphia throne. Ring of Honor ran Philly. It was their first show was in Philly. They embodied everything about Philadelphia pro wrestling, and to me, seeing the Mecca Brian Johnson out there representing Philly, representing what he did in Ring of Honor in GCW, that's my 10th pick. I would love to see that.
I love that pick because GCW, as we all know, beginning of the year, Hammerstein Ballroom, dude, what a better place for somebody like the Mecca to make his grand debut in GCW. That place would go wild.
Oh yeah. He's a monster heel on the mic. And that's something that I think when you go to a live Ring of Honor show, oh man, the Philly crowd loves him, and then he just turns on him. Yep. And it's that MJF effect where it's just like a wave of hate. And you're just like, but you can't help but cheer for him still. You want to see him be successful because you enjoy what he does, but you just love to hate him. And who better in front of that specific crowd, a GCW crowd? That's a hard crowd. That's a hard crowd to get behind you, to get to hate you. and not just hate you, they don't want to see you, not go away heat, but true professional wrestling heat.
Cardona heat.
Yes.
All right, Jovan, what do you got?
I like the GCW mention, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. That kind of got me in my shakes a little bit. Kind of changes where I'm gonna put my next person, man. Honestly, to be 100% transparent with you, I had this wrestler going to the land of entertainers because I think he'd make a lot of money with the entertainers, and I think that the merchandise for this guy would fly off the shelves, literally. But I'm gonna change it up. We're gonna switch it up. Give me Flamita to MLW Azteca Underground.
Yes.
He could be a luchador that they bring in, has some recognition, plenty of opportunity to have him grow within this Azteca Underground that they want to build up. Give me Flamita, Dark Flamita, Evil Flamita, whatever you want. Send him to Azteca Underground.
That's such a great pick for building out that roster for basically a brand new show.
Yep.
Not to mention the crossover, in some of their regular MLW events, he would just be perfect all around. That's a solid pick.
Definitely a solid pick here. So, by no means is this pick irrelevant, because none of these picks are. And for those of you who maybe don't get the irrelevant reference, the last man always picked in the NFL draft is always known as Mr. Irrelevant. So, but here there's no such thing as Mr. Irrelevant. There's just great picks, and all night great picks, everybody. So great job, guys. But so one thing that we've done throughout this whole night is we've picked wrestlers. We've picked women, we've picked men. But this next pick is someone who is not a wrestler. This pick is not a manager, but this pick here plays such a vital role in the overall presentation of Ring of Honor. And he is just and does amazing, is just amazing at what he does. And if you've ever had the chance to meet this person, he's one of the nicest people that you can ever meet. Although he's like, I've been trying to reach him to get him on. I was trying to reach him to get him onto my old show, What Do You Say with DDJ? And things kind of started out well, and just we haven't been able to connect. But it doesn't take away from the fact that I think this guy is just a top-notch announcer and deserves to do this elsewhere. He deserves to continue on with this because he's so good at what he does. Ladies and gentlemen, with the last pick of this Shootin' Shit Ring of Honor draft, I am sending Ring of Honor announcer Ian Riccaboni to AEW. And this is why.
Love it.
Well, with the word going out there that Jim Ross, has it's got skin cancer and he's going to be undergoing treatment. First off, best wishes to JR. While we're on it, best wishes to John Moxley as he just enters rehab, and I just mad respect from all of us here for that. But Jim Ross has come on the record and say he's not going to be doing this too much longer. He wants to kind of focus more on a backstage role. And I just think that Ian Riccaboni would be a natural fit in the broadcast booth. Could you imagine him, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur, or Ian Riccaboni and Taz and Excalibur? I just think it makes so much sense in the world. And even if, JR's not ready to hang it up, have Ian come on, maybe have him do Rampage or Dark or something until he gets comfortable with the style or something. But I just think it makes all the sense in the world for Ian Riccaboni to go to AEW, now that his time, his impact is done, because, I just think it works. He knows a lot of the talents there already. He's called so many matches of the Young Bucks. Cody with his time there. And I just think he's got a lot of history with the guys. I mean, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish. And to the best of my knowledge, nobody has anything bad to say about him. So why not? Why not let this guy who's really young and just has so much more time in this business? Why not let him go where all the action is? Let's have Ian Riccaboni calling, Omega versus Danielson or Hangman Page, and just let him at it and stuff. So yeah, my last pick here, Ian Riccaboni going to AEW.
I love that.
So close to making that pick.
As was I. I really thought, I was like, man, should I throw kind of a wrench in there and go with somebody who's not an actual in-ring worker? And dude, that is such a great pick, and especially too your thought process behind it. My exact thought process: Ian Riccaboni to AEW. If we're gonna phase Jim Ross out, and I know a lot of people love Jim Ross. There are people that don't like Jim Ross, and that's fine. Ian Riccaboni, the reason that the best pandemic era wrestling was in Ring of Honor, one of the major reasons is through the pandemic, and you're putting on shows with no fans. We don't talk about how heavily you rely on commentary during those types of matches where there's no one in the crowd. There is no crowd. It doesn't exist.
Yep.
To keep you into it. That's part of the experience of whether you're watching on pay-per-view, whether you're watching just on TV or watching on your smartphone, tablet, whatever, however you watch your professional wrestling, that is a huge, huge aspect of it. And I mean, one of the best on the microphone. Any company should be fighting to get him in and take over one of their shows. And I'm talking WWE, AEW, New Japan Strong. How about him in New Japan with Kevin Kelly on the American commentary?
That'd be good.
I mean, that would be.
I thought about
amazing.
that too, actually, but I just figured, I know he's got a couple of little ones, and I just can't imagine him wanting to, be that much that time that be away from his family as much as I'm sure the commitments would for New Japan would require and stuff. But that is actually something I thought about when I was kind of going through putting my list together.
The thing is, he fits anywhere. He can fit in any system with any group. I mean, any company. He's that good. He's that damn good on the mic.
Yep. Agreed.
I love it. That was a great pick.
Yeah. So recapping the last round here, we had Joey K taking the Mecca Brian Johnson and having him go to GCW. We had the hot one go with Flamita to MLW Azteca Underground, which I really like. Mm-hmm. And then I had Ian Riccaboni going to AEW. Again, by no means is he Mr. Irrelevant, because we just put Ian Riccaboni over big time. So, guys, we've come to the end of this draft, and it was a lot of fun. So we're going to have this go across the board here. You can see everything here from round 1 all the way to round 10. Gentlemen,
look at these
thoughts?
picks.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling the screen as we're going through. Look at these picks. Look at this unbelievable roster. And this isn't even the whole roster.
No,
we only did 10 rounds. We can continue on with this roster. There's picks on here that, I mean, if you're looking realistically at things, some people we didn't pick. I mean,
dude,
let's talk about somebody like Mark Haskins. Let's talk about LSG. Let's talk about Dak Draper. I mean,
dude.
He was on my list. Tell me he would not fit perfect in WWE right now.
Yep.
I was thinking he was actually on mine with but I actually kind of had him going to NXT because I think he's still,
Well, yeah, NXT, but I can eventually see him on main roster.
And then actually
he's got the look they like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And actually one person that I had on my list as well too that I didn't pick, and only because I don't think he's really wants to do it that much more. And I actually had PCO going to Impact because the Impact has kind of become the place where the characters go.
Yep.
And I just feel like, there's no bigger, there's really not that many bigger characters in wrestling than, PCO, and I just think, with everything that Impact doing, I just thought that would be a fit. You and
PCO
then also,
and Black Taurus, I'm in. That's a hell of a matchup.
And then one other pick that I had, and this was kind of another announcer / wrestler. I actually had on my list as well too, Quinn McKay going to the NWA because NWA's really, they just had their women's, Empower pay-per-view, which was a great show. I think they've done, some all women specials since then as well too. And Quinn can do double duty. She can, do commentary as well as interviews, as well as wrestle. So those are a few that I had, on my list that we didn't get picked and stuff. But man, this was so much fun.
Hell of a draft.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. It's great to talk about some of these talents. I mean, but to put it over, Ring of Honor really did put out one of the best rosters in professional wrestling, and I hope whoever's listening to this show, this special episode we're doing here, can go and listen to these picks and go, "Oh, I think that's a great pick. I love to see this person in this company though, and here's why." And I also love to see some people go, "I have no idea who that is. Let me find out. Why did they make the list of these picks?" And I encourage you, go back, look at Ring of Honor, look at what they've been doing the past, especially the past couple of years. They really built up a talented roster, and so many of these people can go to any company they want. They really do, and they would fit in perfect fits, and that's where we were directing it. Like, hey, this person would fit here. Here's why, and they can be huge stars to a new audience, and that's really the thing. It's a new audience. They're stars for Ring of Honor fans. And I'll tell you this: going to Ring of Honor live shows, they're 100% stars to Ring of Honor fans. You walk around a Ring of Honor show and you see shirts for everybody. Like I said before, you go to WWE shows, you still see a lot of John Cena gear. You see a lot of old school CM Punk shirts from WWE. You see a lot of Roman Reigns gear. You see that stuff. You go to a Ring of Honor show, and hopefully I'll be rocking it when I go. Picking up a Tony Deppen shirt.
Nice,
Tony Deppen. You'll see people wearing Matt Taven. You'll see people wearing Silas Young. You'll see people wearing Briscoe shirts, and it's all across the board. Everyone has their favorites. There's something for everybody. It's Baskin Robbins over at Ring of Honor. 31 flavors, baby. Like you like this? We got this too. That's how it goes. Yep. And that's what really drew me in. I've loved Ring of Honor, and they've always been that home. This sounds so negative, but it's like the land of misfit toys over there. A lot of people who came in but ended up building a name and moving on to huge heights, from your Bryan Danielsons to your CM Punks to your Samoa Joes to,
Seth Rollins.
I mean, the list goes on. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, so many. And they've gone on to such huge heights. So when I look at all these picks, everything that we picked, between these two shows, my God, you could just bolster some rosters and not make new stars, but take these, stars of Ring of Honor and give them fresh eyes, a fresh look, get new fans, and people would just start to fall in love with them like in a whole new way. And that's the best part about this. I can see so many talents, and we've argued tonight already, like who should go here, who should go there, why they would fit in one company. Well, they could also fit here for this reason. That just speaks volumes of the talent that Ring of Honor has had. And it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet because I'd love to see it continue in this iteration. I know it won't. I'm very hopeful that it will continue in some form or another in the future. But I'm very hopeful that a lot of these talents do get signed to some of these places that we've been talking about.
Yeah, we always talk, wrestling fans and, talents and historians always talk about the kind of legacy ECW created, because, you still hear ECW chants at the shows. You still see, guys, Paul Heyman doing his thing, and just the memories there. Ring of Honor, regardless of what happens, will have created that same kind of legacy, and their legacy lives on because you see, like you mentioned, the talents like CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, the Young Bucks, just everybody, Cesaro, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, all these guys who have spent some time in Ring of Honor, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong, and it's just, and just that they continue to live on, and will continue to live on, because you're going to see these guys like Eli Isom, Dak Draper, Dalton Castle, the Briscoes, Silas Young. It's just these men and women like are going to, hopefully land on their feet and find employment elsewhere. But as long as they stay active within this business and create these memories for a new generation of fans, Ring of Honor, regardless of what happens, its legacy will always will live on forever.
Agreed.
Yep.
Absolutely agreed.
That's so.
Take us
right.
home, DJ.
Alrighty then. Well, again, this was a lot of fun. We had so much fun doing the draft on episode 10 of Shootin' Shit, which again, go if you're listening to this and haven't had a chance to listen, or if you want to listen to it again and help boost up our numbers, give it a listen, give it a watch on YouTube, give it a listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, wherever you get your podcast from. Again, thank you so much. It spawned so much conversation. We decided let's just make our very first special bonus episode, a Ring of Honor draft special. And again, a lot of times with the show, we like to sit around and talk wrestling. We have fun. We like to argue or, rib each other, that kind of thing. If you want to see a really good rib, go watch episode 9 of the show where I got Joey K. Good with my post show editing.
That was good. That was good.
That was great.
I appreciate that. But more importantly, we do this to maybe get people to think, a little in ways, that maybe they don't, wouldn't have thought. I always talk about listening to Busted Open Radio. I know Joey K listens and stuff. And I don't know about Jovan if you listen or not, but I mean, one of the reasons why, and I've told him this when I met him in person, I love Bully Ray on that show because he always makes me think of things in a way that maybe I would have not necessarily thought about him, and maybe makes more sense out of things and stuff. And I always appreciate the perspective that he brings to the show. And that's kind of one of the things I like to do with, our show here, is maybe bring a new perspective to someone, maybe get someone to think of something in a way that they never thought before, and kind of maybe help them make more sense out of something and that. But it's just, I love doing this show. I love doing it with this show with you guys. And that, so I ain't got anything else to say. Any last thoughts, guys?
As always, the Pacific Island Playboy, the premier Joey K, wants to let everyone know who's listening to this, Ring of Honor ain't dead yet, motherfuckers. We still got a big one coming. Final battle this December. You're going to see a big one. Got a whole side of ham for you. Let me tell you, that show is going to be wild. It's going to be nuts. I think, in my opinion, we're going to see a lot of this talent who are part of Ring of Honor go out with an absolute bang. Pay for the show, watch it on pay-per-view. Tickets are still available. I don't
watch
know.
It on Honor Club.
Tickets go on sale on the 5th.
Is that when the general release is? Okay. So tickets are on sale. So, at this point, Friday the 5th. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be ringside, sitting in my normal spot, facing ringside, facing the entrance. I love that spot. I'm not on the hard cam side, but I do like where a lot of the spots finish as far as that side. I'm expecting a full out blitz. I think it's going to be a wild night, a fun show. I'm super pumped. So I want to see these men and women just tear the house down one last time under that Ring of Honor banner. And if you see me there, come say hi. Let us know we're doing great. Let us know we're doing shit. Buy me a beer. Sing me a song. Whatever you want to do.
Let's dance with Mary Jane.
Thank you for somebody getting that reference. Little Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers for you. But no, truthfully, I'm excited for it. If this is the last time, it's going to be a really, really, really great show with some unbelievable talent. So I encourage everybody, if you've listened and you've liked anything we've said in the past to this show and the last, please check out Final Battle. You will not be disappointed. I will guarantee you of that.
And one thing too, go out and, go to like highspots.com, go on eBay, get yourself some Ring of Honor DVDs. Go to shoproh.com and get some. I mean, if you really want to see some great wrestling, or I know Honor Club will probably be ending as well, but wherever and this is something that maybe we can talk about in a future episode, but whoever ends up, acquiring the Ring of Honor library, once that's made available, especially if it's someone like Tony Khan, who I hope winds up with it, because I think he'll do it. I don't think he'll do it justice, and we'll finally get a DVD release of All In. But go out there and just watch some of this stuff, because not only see these guys, men and women that we're talking about, but if you want to see what people like, Kevin Steen and Adam Cole and Sami Zayn / El Generico, what these guys did before they went to the WWE. Go look up their stuff at Ring of Honor. Talk Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, because these guys are all, like I said, these guys are AEW, WWE guys, whatever, but a lot of these guys got their first big break in Ring of Honor, and I've always been a big fan of, like the before they were stars type stuff, where you'd see, the older stuff in that, and it's just go out of your way to do just look up some stuff on YouTube or whatever. However you can get access to some Ring of Honor footage, do it, because you were in for a treat.
For all you new fans, if you're enjoying what Bryan Danielson's doing right now in the ring, yes. Oh, do I have a treat for you? Go back to some old Ring of Honor and watch what he did for them before he went to the WWE. And let me know how it is picking your jaw up off the floor, because you hit the nail on the head. Seeing what these guys were doing before they end up. Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens, watch his run in Ring of Honor. Wow, just wow. It almost makes you disappointed that he went to WWE, to be honest with you.
So,
ladies and gentlemen of our shooting club, you guys already know where the merch is. You already know why we do this. We don't do it for The Rock. We did it for The Rock. No, we don't do it for The Rock. We do it for you, the millions
and millions
of shooters worldwide. Guys, join Shooting Club Worldwide with our shirts. Get on there. Hit the show notes. Look up our Teespring. We've got that classic black or white Shooter Club shirt. We have the pink for breast cancer awareness. We are still going to keep that one up. Go ahead and look at that Joey K shirt so you can be one of the original heels of the show like Joey K. Get your 5-star trivia on with the one and only DDJ. Guys, check out our merch. We might have some new designs coming up for the holiday season. Who knows? Just look it up, because we do this for you.
Absolutely.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our little draft special here, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Shootin' Shit. Do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Follow the show on Twitter at SHOOTINSHT, and thanks for listening.